What is going on, everyone? It is me, Mr. Mario, and it seems to be about that time of year again. Normally around this time, I end up doing a video talking about the PlayStation 4 or 4s versus the Xbox One. There's also multiple consoles, but I'm going to get into that at one point. Now, I've done several videos on this. I did one PS4 versus Xbox One a few months after I had them. I did one like 6 months after they were out, I want to say. I did a year check-in, a 2-year check-in, so here, can you believe it's been 3 years? By the time this video goes out, the PS4 will have been out for 3 years already, and the Xbox One will have been out for almost 3 years. By the time this video is out. So I also want to annotate that by saying, if I say something in this video and you're watching it in like 8 months or something, and you're just like, no, that's completely untrue, that's been changed, look at the date of the video. I'm going to be telling you all about stuff that is happening current to around this date, you know? So there's also a lot of stuff, because I've made some long videos as well too, and if you want to go back and watch those, cool. If not, I understand because they're quite long. But there's gonna be a lot of stuff I won't go into as much detail on, just because I really don't want to repeat myself over something that I might have said a year or two ago, because things also change as well, and also the market is gonna change, the climate's gonna change here. So first off, I'm gonna also talk about who this video is not for. Now, if you're just interested or you like watching the video, thank you, and I really appreciate your viewership. But if you are the type of person who's saying, oh, well, why don't you just get a PC? This video is not for you. This video is for people who want to get a PS4 or an Xbox One, or they're thinking of getting both, or they might have a PS4 and they're thinking of getting or trading in for an Xbox One, or even vice versa. I didn't include the Wii U on here, same with last year, because I've kind of understood the fact now that if you're gunning after a Wii U, you're gunning after it for specific reasons. It's not going to be the more general reasons that people flock over to a PlayStation or an Xbox for. So it's just going to be a different crowd there. And there's nothing wrong with that. The Wii U, as I said, is a great system, and I've made several videos on that, but you know, it's just not going to be lumped in with this stuff right here. Especially now, since it's been officially discontinued at this point, you know, yeah, these are still being made, so kind of a bit different on there. But this video, as I said, it's for people who are more interested in one of these, and it's for people who want to get a console, but they're just kind of indecisive, they're not sure what to get, they don't know if this is the right time for it. But again, if you're one of those people, you're not interested in consoles, that's totally cool, but this video is not going to be for you. I'm not going to be here, sitting here being all like, oh, well, you could get a PC. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to mention PC a few times, personal computer, or the computer, whatever you want to call it, but I'm sitting here talking about if you want to get a game console. So, just want to establish that. Now also, with last year, I'm going to use the criteria of what I used prior. Whenever I want to get a console, there are 3 things that I look into it for it. I look at the value, I look at the games, and I look at the friends and family that have it as well. And I'll talk about that here. So first off, when it comes to the value, I want to make sure I'm getting a good deal. I want to make sure there's going to be value to that console. These consoles are not investments at all. I'm not trying to sell it like that. But I just want to make sure that there's going to be enough value for me to actually justify spending the $100, getting the console, getting the games, getting the online service, playing on there and everything, and then what I can get in return there. So, for example, if I buy a console and I just don't use it, that's a bad value. Bit different to me because I'm a collector as well too, so I have several consoles that I don't use because I'm a collector, but also at the same time, you know, I'm sure I'm one of the minorities. I'm sure a majority of people, they buy a game console, they want to actually use and play with the thing. When it comes down to the games, what do you get a game console for? Blu-rays, right? No, you get it for games. See, it's a joke. That's not a good joke. Anyways, you get it for the games. Yeah, you could use these for multimedia purposes as well, but the main reason for getting a game console is to, you know, play games. There's plenty of cheaper options for multimedia and such, and there's a ton of other alternatives. And finally, when it comes to family and friends, this is the one that gets a little bit iffy, because a lot of people, they'll say, I don't play online, or I don't play multiplayer, I'm just going to play these games by myself, and I understand that. I understand that. However, I've still seen a lot of people that have said that, and they end up flipping from one side to the other. I've seen some people who, you know, not even some, I've seen several people, they get the PS4 because that's what they want, that's what they were interested in, and they get it, and they don't have any friends or family they can talk about it with, they can't compare games, even if they want to play online, they don't have any, local friends or anyone they actually know to play games online with. Just due to the fact that maybe all of their friends and family are on the Xbox train. So about 4 months later, they pack up the PS4, sell it, get an Xbox One. I've also seen vice versa happens as well too. So if you're limiting yourself to one console, because this is also the other thing, I guess this video is more being made for making a decision, PS4 or Xbox One. If you're going to be like me and you're going to go both, I mean, cool. And I'm actually going to talk about that, but more or less this is for people who are getting one console. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about the value. Now, right now, it's around Black Friday and all that other stuff, and, holiday season. We're in quarter 4. We're almost at the end of the year. Almost at the end of the year. Point is, there's a lot of stuff that's going on with these systems. First off, you're going to see a lot of deals. Like, I think the PS4, I've been seeing sales on them with, like, a PS4 Slim for $250 with 3 games, and they're all pretty good games as well, too. The Xbox Ones, these original models right here, you can get these things for cheap with, like, 5 games and a controller thrown in and some Xbox Live time. Like, they are just trying to get these out of the store. They're almost giving them to people. And I guess I don't know. I haven't paid attention to the original PS4 model, honestly, but I know they're really trying to push that PS4 Slim right now, just because, it's the cheaper variant. And the reason why Sony and Microsoft are doing that is because their priority is they want to get these into people's homes. If they get a console into your house, you're gonna buy games for it. So that's how it works out. Now, when it comes down to the value of it, I'm going to be going back to the price on here. You can get either of the consoles. Again, take the sales out of the equation. But I'll circle back to that. Man, people are honking. I'll circle back to that, but point is, you can right now get a Xbox One S, which is the base model, or the standard model, I guess you could say, for $300. It has a 500GB hard drive, and you could also get a PS4 Slim. This is not the Slim, this is the original PS4. You can get a PS4 Slim for $300, 500GB, and normally it'll come with a game or something. Now, these systems right here, these are the original systems, and I'm going to touch up on them, but as I said, you can get these two for much cheaper because stores are trying to clear them out. Now, there's some other systems as well, too. This thing right here that I haven't even touched up on, this is the PS4 Pro. So first off, you might be wondering, what system should I get? Well, you might also be asking, why is it that I have the PS4 Pro, but I still have the original Xbox One? There's 2 systems out right now. There's the Xbox One, there's the Xbox One S. The Xbox One S is a smaller form factor, has an internal power supply, and it upscales to 4K. It does 4K HDR resolution, 4K resolution HDR if your TV has it, and it has a 4K Blu-ray drive in it. For $300, it's actually a pretty attractive price point and value on there as well, too. The reason why I don't have it is because it's a smidge powerful. There's going to be some people that are going to say, oh, it's more powerful than the original Xbox One, so you should get it. It's a little bit more powerful, and so there's going to be games that are going to perform a little bit better. And if you don't believe me, I'll show you all some Digital Foundry tests as well, too. Digital Foundry, they're excellent with this stuff. So I'm not sitting here denying that the Xbox One S isn't more powerful. It is more powerful, and you're going to get a little bit more of a boost on your games, but it's not like a whole big night and day difference. It might just like boost up the frame rates a tiny bit or stabilize them a tiny bit. It's not designed to play games in 4K though, and by that I mean the native resolutions. Now, this goes across all consoles, because I'm going to talk about these native resolutions, and people are going to say, well, I hooked up my Xbox One and it's running everything in 1080p. Quick crash course on here. So, this video right now is recorded in 1080p. Let's say I recorded it in 720p. So right now the video would look like this. That was a bad snap, but point is, it would look like this. The reason why it comes out to full screen, if a game, for example, is running internally at 720p or has a native resolution of 720p, and your console is outputting at 1080p, is because all these consoles are going to upscale it to whatever resolution the output is going to be. So for example, let's say this video was made in native 720p, and then I upscaled it to 1080p. It would look like this at this point. However, if the video itself was recorded at 720p or even, let's say, like 480p, it would look much smaller without me upscaling. So these systems have already been upscaling games. because there's not that many games out there that run at a native 1080p. Some of them might run at 720, 900p, all these other resolutions. So if you get confused, that just a little bit of a crash course right there. But the thing is, as I said, the Xbox One S is not going to run your games at a high resolution. It's going to upscale them, and that's going to be about it. Some people might also say the HDR feature is a killer feature on the Xbox One. If you're running it on your Xbox One, you have an HDR capable TV, I'm not going to doubt that. However, if it's worth getting an Xbox One over a PS4 for, I wouldn't say that. With one of the more recent patches, every PS4 has HDR output. So that means on the PS4, the PS4 Slim, you could do up to 1080p with HDR. And on the PS4 Pro, you could do up to 4K HDR. So there you go. The Xbox One, the original Xbox One, this one does not output at 4K. It does not do it doesn't do HDR. You have to get a Xbox One S to do that. And even though I myself have a 4K TV, I don't use my Xbox One as much as my PS4, and with that, I didn't see the need to go out, spend more money, get another Xbox One, hook it up there, especially because really I don't have an HDR TV, well, HDR capable TV. I have a 4K TV, but it doesn't have HDR on it, and if it's just going to upscale them, make them look maybe like games look a little bit better, it wasn't really worth it to me. Now, some people might have heard of this system called the Xbox One Scorpio. That's coming out next year. It's slated for a December 2017 release, so that means when I do like the 4-year check-in, I'm still not going to have a Scorpio, which is kind of funny. But no, it's not going to be like that where it's a dramatic increase in power or anything. It's just going to be a little bit of a smidge. It's just designed to do the 4K stuff. So that's been about it. So for me, at least, as an existing Xbox One owner, I didn't really see the value in upgrading to that model. Now, let's say you don't own an Xbox One. What should you get? Should you get an Xbox One or an Xbox One S? Well, if you're wanting to get one now, I would say if you have a 4K TV and you find a good deal or you can spend the money on Xbox One S, it would be worth it. That 4K Blu-ray player, definitely awesome. The 4K upscaling on the games, I mean, sure you'll have that. And if you have an HDR TV, your games are going to look prettier, so you don't really get many, you know, downsides to that. However, if you have a 1080p TV, I wouldn't recommend getting the Xbox One S. Now, even though you're not going to be able to output that at 4K if you hook it up to a 1080p TV, you still will get the benefits on there, but really the benefits are, they're barely there. Yes, I said, the games can, you know, like they can run at slightly higher, not resolutions, but slightly higher frame rates, but it's really not a huge difference, and especially if you don't have the panel for it, I can't see the justification in purchasing it. Especially when you can get an original Xbox One at a cheaper price with a few games bundled in and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, maybe it doesn't look as nice, it's gonna take up more space, but I'm just trying to save you some value right here. However, if you have a 1080p or even a 720p TV and you really want that Xbox One S, I'm not here to control your money. I'm just trying to kind of give a recommendation on it. Now, when it comes to the PlayStation 4, we got a few options. As you can see, with the same reasoning of the Xbox One S, almost forgot what it was, I have the original PS4, I have the PS4 Pro, I did not get the PS4 Slim. When it comes down to those, the PS4 and the PS4 Slim, the difference aside from form factor, the only technical difference really that might benefit you is that the PS4 Slim has a 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi antenna on there, and it has a better antenna. That's really about the only difference on there tech-wise. Aside from that, it still outputs 1080p. All PS4s with the latest update are going to do HDR, so if you have an HDR-capable TV, you're good on that. And even with that right there, I would honestly, again, if you want that smaller form factor, I guess, or you get a really good deal on it, the PS4 Slim, it's not a bad option for sure. But again, you could probably get one of these right here for a better deal. So one of these original ones. So kind of be on the lookout for that because again, stores are going to be clearing those out. When it comes down to getting either one of these, the Pro or the original PlayStation 4, I've done a video talking about my thoughts on the Pro, and I'll say this. Now, the difference on these is the PS4 Pro is not like the Xbox One S. This is kind of like, I might get some flack for this because it's not going to be as powerful, it's not as beefy, but it's almost like the Scorpio of the PlayStation 4 family. And by that I mean they ended up, you know, doubling the power of the GPU. They gave it a better CPU clock rate. They've thrown in an extra gig of RAM. They've actually done some pretty big upgrades to this system internally, not like the small marginal upgrade that the Xbox One S got. So what would be my recommendation on this? Because this thing, the base model is a 1 terabyte. It has a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it is $400. So for just $100 more, you get double the storage space, and you get a much powerful system. Honestly, I'll say this, what I had said before. If you're in the market for a PS4, and you've never owned one before, I would recommend spending the extra $100 getting the PS4 Pro. Because at that point, you're going to future-proof yourself. You're going to have the more powerful system at that point. You're going to have any games that are going to be coming out that are PS4 Pro compatible, so they benefit from the extra power. You're going to reap that benefit immediately. Any games that you're going to pick up that might be older that get patches, you're going to reap from that benefit as well too. And then you're also going to get double the storage. Because, I mean, this thing, like 500 gigabytes is not enough, man. And that's another thing. The PS4, you have to swap out the hard drive on there, which is really annoying to do. I hate that. The Xbox One, it doesn't really matter what you get internally because you can hook up an external drive and format it and you're good, so that's a lot nicer. So honestly, the 1 terabyte thing was appealing, and when you're going to get a regular PS4 and then you're going to upgrade the hard drive, I mean, you're going to spend enough money to the point where it's like, why didn't I just spend the extra bit of cash to get the PS4 Pro so I could get more power and more storage at that point? So to me, if you have a PS4, this is the thing, if you have a PS4 right now and you're thinking of upgrading to the PS4 Pro, I would say kind of hold off a little bit, because at this moment in time, there's not that many games that are benefiting from it right now. There needs to be more games that come out that have Pro patches or are Pro compatible. There needs to be other games that need Pro patches, and even some of the games that have PS4 Pro patches on them don't perform as well as they are supposed to. So it's kind of a rocky thing right here. It's going to get better, because, I mean, these developers just, they need to spend more time with their patches. But point is on there, I don't think as a current PS4 owner, I don't think it's worth selling off your PS4 to upgrade to the Pro. That's just my opinion. However, if you've never owned a PS4 and you do want one, get this. Because even though you're not going to benefit from it immediately, it's going to benefit you long term. So that's why I'm recommending it. However, you're probably not going to see as many deals on this system. You're probably going to see deals on the PS4 Slim and the original PS4. So if you can deal with that and sacrifice, you know, spending a bit more money, not getting as many games or other goodies with it, you're going to get the better hardware there anyways. So I would still recommend that to anyone who has not owned a PS4. Now also another thing that comes into the value of these systems is the online service that you're paying for. On the PlayStation you have PlayStation Network, and PlayStation Plus is what you have to pay for. For the Xbox One you have Xbox Live. Now it is unanimous at this point, and by that I mean PS4, like on PlayStation Network, they ended up increasing the price of PlayStation Plus. So now PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live cost the same amount of money. However, look online for deals. I'm itchy, but look online for deals, and you can get your, especially if you buy it in a year, you can get your stuff much cheaper. You can get a year of Xbox Live or a year of PlayStation Plus for like $30, $35, $40 as opposed to the $60 that they're asking for. Now, you need this, you need either of the services, you need to pay for them in order to play online and also to get the games that they bundle into that. So if you just want to get an Xbox One, you want to play offline all the time, you don't really care about playing online at all, and you just want to use it for like Netflix, YouTube, some other stuff, you don't need to pay for Xbox Live. However, if you do want to play online, or you want to get those games for gold that they give you, or you want the gold discounts, you're going to have to pay for Xbox Live. Same thing goes for PlayStation Plus. Now, the games that they give you with these as well too, Xbox One, well on here for Xbox Live, the nice thing is they give you 4 games per month. They give you 2 games the first half of the month and 2 different games the second half of the month. Each month, they end up giving you 2 Xbox One games and 2 Xbox 360 games. And from this point forward, actually as of months ago, because of backwards compatibility on the Xbox One, all of the games that get put up on Games for Gold will also be compatible with Xbox One, the 360 games. So that means if you have an Xbox One, technically you can get 4 games per month, as long as you are paying for your Xbox Live service, which isn't a bad deal, especially if you're getting an Xbox One you didn't own a 360 for, or you want to replay some 360 games, so that way you're getting 2 new Xbox One games, and you're also getting 2 360 games that might or might not be new to you. As opposed to the PlayStation right here, where on PlayStation Plus you still get a good deal on it, but you get normally like 2 PlayStation 4 games, 2 PlayStation 3 games, 2 PlayStation Vita games, and I think they deprecated the PlayStation Portable games, I'm not sure. But the point is on there, unfortunately, the PlayStation 4 does not have backwards compatibility. You can buy PS2, PS3 games through like some other services and all that, but the point is I cannot play PS3 games on here natively. So on like my account, for example, if I only own a PS4, I can only play the PS4 games. I can't play the PS3 games, I can't play the PS Vita games if I don't own those systems. On the Xbox One, I can play all the games they give me per month, which is a pretty nice deal. So again, you gotta factor that in because you're gonna get some games per month, and on top of that, you got the 360 backwards compatibility, which is always increasing in games in its library. Like every month they are adding new games to it. While it's a PS4, you are not going to have any backwards compatibility with it. And then when it comes to the games, sometimes they give you great games, sometimes they give you pretty horrible games, and really, it's all opinion. Some people might say, oh, this game's better, that game's better. Again, that's opinion. If you're saying this game runs better, then that's a fact. If you're saying that this game is better because you think it's a better game or something, that's just an opinion right there. So we're not going to be classifying that. But point is, you know, when it comes to the value of it, I've put out the prices on there. I've kind of recommended what consoles I think you might get if you're in whatever mindset, whatever it is. And finally, I've talked about, you know, the pricing plan for the online services as well, too. So since we've talked about that quite a bit, we should probably talk about the games. Now, if we're going to sit here and discuss games, first off, I'll talk about the performance on them. And for the most part, there's multi-platform games and there's exclusive games. Now, multi-platform games, most of the time, run better on the PS4 than they do on the Xbox One. They might run at high resolutions, they might run at better frame rates, or both, but most of the time they're going to run better on the PlayStation 4. It's just a fact, just throwing it out there. So I'm not saying Xbox One games are unplayable, but they're going to run, you know, at a low resolution. They might be the same frame rate, or they might drop in frames more often or run at a lower frame rate on average compared to the PS4 counterparts. Now, this has gotten better, honestly, because a lot of the times it's just a patch that needs to be put out, or there needs to be more polish on a game, or just needs some more time in development. And this is something that I've really stressed since the beginning, because a lot of people, when these systems came out in 2013, they said, oh, these systems are x86 architecture, they're maxed out. They're not maxed out. They are not maxed out. If that was true, the games that came out in 2013, they would be like, you know, equivalent, the performance would be equivalent of what we have now. But we're seeing games perform better now, they're looking better. Plus we've seen some games from 2013, like one thing I'm thinking of, for example, is Dead Rising 3 got a really big patch that dramatically improved the frame rate on Xbox One. So you're getting that. Just kind of long short of it is on there, for the most part, multi-platforms will perform better on the PlayStation 4. On top of that, because the PlayStation 4 has the bigger install base and Sony's been throwing money around, a lot of times you're going to get some timed exclusive stuff early on there, or you might get PlayStation exclusive stuff on the games there. So it really just depends on what you're wanting, but just throwing that out there for anybody. One big thing I'm thinking of is, I'm pretty sure, no, this is still going on. Like the Call of Duty franchise, for example, anything that gets put out, like DLC and all that, 30 days earlier on PlayStation. For some people that might say this is a bit unfair or whatever, it was the same thing, exact same thing last generation with the Xbox 360, because the Xbox 360 was hotter at the time, and it had the bigger install base, so that's where the money was. But don't yell at me about it, yell at the game developers, yell at the publishers, yell at all those people about it. Use Twitter or something. But when it comes down to the exclusives on these systems, and I want to say, because some people might try and say, oh, this game's exclusive, that game's exclusive, I want to put definition on exclusive. Exclusive to me means that it is a game that you cannot play on any other platform. Any other platform. So a lot of people are going to throw out some games. They might say something like, I don't know, ReCore, or I'm thinking of some other games like Dead Rising 3 or something. Those are exclusive on Xbox One. They're not. This is also where I'm going to bring up PC. If PC is going to be an option for you, those games are also available on PC, and that's the thing that we're seeing. A lot of games on Xbox One, because of Universal Windows platform, because of what Microsoft's doing to try and push Xbox as a brand now, and as a service, as opposed to only a game console, they're trying to release their games on PC as well too. So as for Xbox One exclusives, for the most part, they really don't exist that well anymore. The only games I can really think of that might be true Xbox One exclusives are Halo 5 Guardians and Sunset Overdrive. I mean, there's some others I'm thinking, like Forza 6. No, there was a different version of... I don't really follow the Forza games that much, so my apologies on there. But I believe Forza Horizon 3 is also one of the exclusives. But point is, what I'm trying to say here is there's not that many Xbox One exclusives right now, because most of them are going over to PC, or they will be going over to PC. As for the PlayStation 4, you do have a lot more console exclusives on there. Now, I'm also going to exclude remasters on here, so some people might try and say Last of Us Remastered or Journey Collector's Edition or something. Those games you can play on other consoles, technically, so to me, they are not console exclusives on there. But that's where you have to make the decision and see, okay, where are my interests? Because again, kind of going to bring it back right here, even though there are exclusives, Microsoft exclusives, I can't say Xbox exclusives, there are Microsoft exclusives on the Xbox One. I'm going to assume that you want an Xbox One and you're not going to be getting a PC anytime soon, maybe even ever. So you have to look at the exclusives as well too and be all like, do I want Gears of War? Or do I want Killzone? Do I want Forza? Or do I want Drive Club? Do I want to play Grand Theft Auto 5? And if I do, who am I going to play it on? Who am I going to play with? What platform should I pick it up on? So those are the questions you should be asking yourself when it comes to games. And that's going to be the most important thing right there, is really, because I mean, if you have a game console and you're not playing any games on it, what are you doing with the thing? It seems kind of pointless at that point, unless you're a collector, but that's kind of just an excuse to hoard, I guess you can say. Now, finally, when it comes to family and friends, what they have. This seems like the least important, but I've seen this shift people around on different platforms. I would recommend, if you have some friends, you know, either locally, at school, at work, or family members as well too, kind of gauge and see what systems they have, what they like to play, what they play on, etc. And also compare that with what you actually want to play. Because this also tears out a lot of people. A lot of people, they want to get a PS4, but all their friends are on Xbox One. But they like the PS4 so much more, but all their friends are on Xbox One. I can't help you with that dilemma. You're going to have to solve that on your own. However, if you are indifferent on either of the consoles, and most of your friends are on the Xbox One, you might want to think about picking up an Xbox One. If most of your friends are on the PS4, you might want to think about picking up a PS4. It really depends on you. But again, as I said at the beginning of the video, that is an important part right there, because even if you think it really doesn't play a part in it, you'll probably be surprised at how bored you might feel on a console that you're playing on where not as many people are playing on it. Like, for example, as I said, as you can see here, I have all the systems. Most of my friends, though, that are on console play on Xbox One. I don't play on Xbox One as often, so I don't play with them as often, but that's influenced several decisions to play games and pick up games. Grand Theft Auto 5, for example, I have on both of these systems, but I played it more on Xbox One because my friends were on it there. Attack on Titan, I have a review coming out on that. It's not that good. But point is, Attack on Titan, some of my friends wanted to pick it up. Both my friends I wanted to play with have Xbox One, so they picked it up on there. Because of that, it might have been better on PS4, but I picked it up on Xbox One so I could play it with friends. But most of the time for my single-player experiences, I do pick them up on PS4 or on PC, depending on what I want to play on and, you know, the performance I'm going to get, etc. So finally, now that I've kind of just rambled through and talked about my 3 criteria for picking a system, again, the value, the games, and what your friends or family have, I'm going to make, you know, some recommendations here. Now, I'm not going to say, oh, you should get the PS4, or, oh, you should get the Xbox One, but I'm kind of trying to say what position you might be in for this. So let's say you have a PS4 and you're thinking of looking at the Xbox One. As I said, if you could, I'm just saying, if this was me and I was picking it up, if I had a 4K TV, I would probably get the Xbox One S. Scorpio is still a year out. We don't know how it's going to be. In addition to that, at that point, the systems are going to be 4 years old. I mean, system life cycles are not that long, so it might just have another few years of longevity, but right now it would still be worth, you know, getting a system and playing if you plan to do that. Let's say, so again, PS4 and you want the Xbox One. If you have a 4K TV, I'd recommend the Xbox One S. If you don't have a 4K TV, I'd recommend save some money, get the Xbox One, the original system right there. I'm sure you're going to find deals on both of them. And now let's say you have an Xbox One, you're thinking of getting a PS4. If you have, you know, even with this, even if you have a 1080p TV, I would still recommend getting the PS4 Pro. Due to the fact that, yes, even though you're not going to take advantage of the 4K or maybe even the HDR, it's been shown that it's going to render the games at that high resolution and use that extra power, and it's going to downsample it to 1080p. So like the opposite of upscaling, like downscaling right there. But I would still recommend picking up the PS4 Pro for that, even if you're on a 1080p screen. However, you just really don't care about that extra power and all that stuff, I would recommend gunning after either a PS4 Slim or a original PS4, depending on what your price range is, the value you want, and the goodies that you're going to get thrown in there. Now, if you don't have either system and you're thinking about what to get, if you're maybe thinking of if you want to get both, or if you should get one, or if you should wait on it, as I said, so if you want to get a PS4, I'd recommend going after the Pro. The Xbox One's where it gets a little bit iffy on there. If you're wanting to get an Xbox One, I don't know. It depends on if you really want to wait, honestly. Because the original Xbox One, you can get good deals on them. The Xbox One S, I'm sure you're going to find good deals. But again, we're going to be getting Scorpio in about a year, so if you want to upgrade to that and take advantage of that extra power on that system, then do you want to get an Xbox One and then in a year sell it off? It really depends on you. But again, my recommendation, if you have to get one now, still stands. My recommendation is, if you have 4K TV, I recommend the Xbox One S. If you don't, try and stick to the original Xbox One. You're going to get a better deal that way. Anyways, I hope I helped some of you all out with this. I hope this provided this. And by the way, my final recommendation here, because this is kind of this was the point of these videos as well too. 2016 into 2016, is it worth getting a Xbox One or a PlayStation 4? And I would say at this point, if you don't have a system or you're coming from the 7th generation, yes. In my opinion, it is absolutely worth getting a console right now. Getting a PS4 or getting an Xbox One. The reason being on there is that the PlayStation 3, there's going to be some straggler titles coming out, but it's not going to get that much support here soon. The Xbox One, or the Xbox 360, excuse me, is no longer being produced. That thing is not going to be supported anymore. So yes, those systems still have a great backlog of games, but if you're wanting something new, I would recommend, you know, use this video, check the criteria, compare it against what you believe, what you want and everything, where your interests lie, and if you have the money, get a system. I would recommend, if you're coming from Generation 7, upgrading to a Generation 8 console at this point. I think it is a good time to do it. So, that's my final recommendation on there. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video or it helped you out or anything, a like would be very much appreciated. And if you absolutely hated it and you just want to go PC Master Race, which, hey, you know, I'm kind of looking around right now because I'm just like looking. I have PC parts everywhere because I'm building a few computers here. One of them for me, one of them for my brothers. But hey, if you want to dislike the video, that's fine too. But don't worry, I'll be having a better PC here soon. So anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off real this time. Later, everyone, and happy holidays.